Would you mind talking through how you utilized the context of your students and what would be known to your students to help show the importance of context?
A lot of them come from what we might call fundamentalist, more fundamentalist backgrounds, where basically, open the Bible, that's all I need. And so how can I help them realize that there's a variety of theological resources when we do theology? Okay, that it isn't just memorizing doctrine, it's actually you wrestling with the Word of God. But every time you read the Word of God, the history of the church is coming in to play in that translation that you're reading. You belong to a local church that has formed you. You have your personal experience. Those are like lenses that you see the world through, and your culture impacts you. What if I could connect that doing theology is like learning to make a tamale, okay? And so I asked the students how they would teach me how to make a tamale. Someone raised their hand and said, you have to sit down with my abuelita, my grandmother, because she makes tamales like nobody else in our family. I said, is that the only way? And then someone else in class would raise their hand and say, well, the women at our church always make tamales around Christmas, so you could come to our church, be part of the community, and you could learn from watching the community. And another woman said, I don't do it, my aunts do it in our family, but I have the recipe that my great-grandmother passed down to all of us. And so I know that the tamales that we make come from like 3 or 4 generations back. And then I said, okay, if I do all these things, am I gonna make the tamal that each of you in this class, that's your favorite tamal? And they said, mm-mm. And I said, why not? And they said, well, some of us are from the south of Mexico, some are from central, some are from Venezuela, some are from Guatemala, and all of our tamales are a little bit different. So culture is important. And I asked, and they said, yeah, culture's important. So, okay, if I get all of these bases covered, will I make as good a tamale as we started with your abuelita? Will I make it as good? And they go, no, probably not. And I say, well, why not? And they will use different words. They'll say chispa, that means the spark that she has. Amor, the love that she has for our family. The years of making it. I mean, she has all these things in her that at this point, you just don't have those, And I said, okay, so let's look at those elements again. And then I say, okay, abuelita says, come do it with her. It's experience, right? It's our actual experience is important in making a tamal. Our getting recipes from 4 generations ago is important, Our doing it in community is important. And I connect all those things then to how the theological resources. Our local church is a theological resource. The tradition is a theological resource. Our experience is a culture is a theological resource. And that all those resources, they're very messy, and the arrows go all different directions, but the Bible confirms some of those other theological resources and sometimes critiques. And we need all those theological resources, especially the Bible, to speak into that.